Welcome, everyone. We're going live without an intro right now. And I just want to say, out of the 241,000 subscribers that this channel has, I just want to welcome the 90 of you that YouTube still sends notifications out for. Welcome back to SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Let's talk about an important update in one of the really important lawsuits against Scientology, against David Miscavige personally. This is, well, I'll just show you the paperwork for this to give you the actual, this is the Jane Doe verse. This is a, well, I want to use words that I'm not allowed to use within the first 60 seconds of a YouTube video. But this is a civil lawsuit regarding child abuse, institutionalized child abuse, in Scientology. As defendants, it names Religious Technology Center, Church of Scientology International, David Miscavige as an individual, Gavin Potter as an individual, a notorious Scientology recruiter, Bridge Publications, a Scientology organization. And so this, there's an update in this lawsuit. New bombshell witness that the plaintiff's attorneys have filed an ex parte motion. And for you normies out there like me, ex parte, if you look it up online, it says, what does ex parte mean in legal? An ex parte application is used for one party to ask the court for an order without providing the other parties the usual amount of notice or opportunity to write an opposition. I have heard ex parte hearings referred to as emergency hearings for that reason. The plaintiff's attorneys have asked for an ex parte hearing that is on the schedule for tomorrow to allow this new bombshell witness to weigh in with an affidavit regarding Scientology's internal arbitration process and the contracts that Scientology has all of its members signed to force them into internal religious arbitration. There's a bit to understand about this. I'm just going to go one little step at a time here. Wait, I got to check something on YouTube. No, we're fine on that. Okay, so let me show you some stuff here. Let's just see what they have to say. The reason this was an emergency, the reason they had to request this emergency hearing on Monday is because up until Friday, there was a hearing scheduled on Tuesday about the enforceability of the arbitration contracts. And that's why this new witness, they were trying to get them admitted on Monday. Now, the hearing on Tuesday has now been postponed for completely unrelated matters to this new witness. And I'm just going to walk you through both of these issues. But first, let's look at the ex parte application. We're not going to read the whole thing, but there are certain sections I want to share with you. Okay, statement of facts. Plaintiff's opposition to the motion to compel arbitration requires, in great part, discussion of matters typically shrouded in secrecy by defendants. Now, guys, remember, defendants, generally speaking, is just Scientology. So I'm going to say Scientology instead of defendants. Scientology have submitted numerous affidavits by witnesses associated with Scientology, the Scientology organization, in support of their motion to compel arbitration. Despite diligent efforts by plaintiffs to find witnesses willing to provide information during the discovery process and otherwise to support her claims, no direct witness to the events Jane Doe complains of was available to submit an affidavit in support of her opposition to the motion to compel arbitration until the current witness came forward. On the evening of March 20th, 2024, plaintiff had a discussion with the potential witness who shared for the first time information that would be pertinent to this court's ability to ascertain the truth of the facts asserted by Scientology in the motion to compel arbitration. Today, on March 21st, 2024, that potential witness for the first time committed to a willingness to submit an affidavit in support of Jane Doe's opposition to the motion to compel arbitration. Without the ability to submit this key testimony to the court, plaintiff will suffer irreparable harm. She will be unable to provide this court with a full set of facts upon which the court may decide as to whether to relinquish jurisdiction over this matter in favor of Scientology arbitration. And then my understanding of the next section of this filing is them basically saying they have not yet requested such an ex parte application for a matter such as this yet in the case, and therefore it should be considered. Super interesting. Okay, now let's look at an order the judge issued postponing Tuesday's hearing. And let's see what he has to say about this. Hold on. Why? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's do this. Now, this gets a little bit into like law nerd stuff, but that's kind of why I wanted to read it for you law nerds. Every time I read these documents, I learn something new and I get a better understanding of, the general procedure in the courts. And I just find these things fascinating. So maybe you guys will as well. And maybe you already seasoned law nerds just like hearing the nitty gritty legalese on some of this stuff. Okay, so this is an order regarding Scientology's motion to compel arbitration. And I'm just going to read this through. It's not very long. Motion to compel arbitration. Defendants, Church of Scientology International, Bridge Publications International, Religious Technology Center filed the pending motion to compel arbitration on September 18th, 2023, moving the court for an order compelling plaintiff Jane Doe to submit the claims alleged in her complaint to binding arbitration. Okay, I've got to make a little bit of a caveat. I had to read the document that I'm reading to you right now. I had to read this about 6 times before I felt like I could truly conceptually understand everything that the document was saying. That's why I say the reason I decided to read the document in full is just for you law nerds who actually like this stuff. But even as I'm reading this again, I'm starting to get confused. So bear with me. The dates, there's so many dates in this stuff. I'm not great with dates. Okay. On February 14th, 2024, the court issued an order, 1, noting defects with both parties' papers, and 2, continuing the hearing on this motion. 1, to give plaintiff an opportunity to file an amended opposition memorandum that complied with California rules of court, and 2, to give Scientology an opportunity to file a revised application to seal. Okay, so just based on this paragraph, guys, the only thing Scientology seemed to have done wrong and the only thing the judge was giving Scientology a continuance for was to amend their application to seal whatever was going to happen on March 26th. Okay. Okay. The court further set a hearing on Scientology's application to seal for March 26th and ordered Scientology to file an amended application no later than February 28th. Fine. On February 28th, defendant Religious Technology Center filed a notice of intent not to file certain exhibits under seal, stating that it believed that the documents should be placed in the public record. Guys, I don't know if this is normal, but is it a little strange that RTC specifically wanted to file something under seal? Then the judge said, there's something wrong with your filing. I'm giving you an opportunity to refile it. And then at the last day they could possibly have refiled it, they're like, we have changed our mind, Your Honor. Good, sir. We want everyone to be able to see these documents. I don't know. I kind of laughed when I saw that, assuming I'm reading it correctly. Okay, thus, Scientology did not file a revised application to seal. And thereafter, on March 6th, the plaintiff filed a motion to seal documents that have been filed in connection with the motion to compel arbitration. Plaintiff's motion to seal is set for hearing on April 16th, i.e., after the date that the motion to compel arbitration is set for hearing. As set forth above, the court set for hearing a motion to seal filed by defendants, Scientology, and did not set a hearing for motion to seal filed by plaintiff. And the plaintiff did not file an ex parte application requesting that the court advance the hearing on her motion to seal to be heard concurrently with defendant's motion to compel arbitration. Guys, as a normie, I read this shit. This is hilarious to me. This is absolutely hilarious to me reading this stuff. So the judge had set a hearing for Scientology's application to seal for March 28th, but then they basically decided not to do that. And then the plaintiff filed a motion to seal, but that hearing was scheduled for later, and they forgot to ask it to be scheduled earlier. Like, this is good stuff, you guys. All right. Where was I? Yes. Okay, good. In order for the court to establish what the evidentiary record will be on the motion to compel arbitration, the court exercises its discretion to continue the hearing on Scientology's motion to compel arbitration to April 16th, 2024, so that it can be heard with plaintiff's motion to seal. Now, take this language that I'm about to read to you is a little troubling, but I want to explain why it's not as troubling as it might seem with respect to the ex parte motion for this new bombshell witness. Okay, the judge's order. The court orders that 1, the hearing on Scientology's motion to compel arbitration and the case management conference are continued from March 26th to April 16th. And this is the paragraph that got my panties in a bunch. The court orders that the briefing and evidence presented in connection with the motion to compel arbitration has been completed and is now closed. The court therefore orders that the parties shall not file any additional evidence, briefing, or papers in connection with the motion to compel arbitration. Oopsie. Taken in a vacuum, that last paragraph of the judge's order could be interpreted to be rejecting and throwing out the ex parte motion to admit this brand new bombshell witness. As of right now, we know that it is in fact not. This ruling was made independent of the ex parte motion. And this language that the judge uses, this last paragraph here, the court orders, that is something he has already previously said in his rulings prior to this current ex parte motion to admit this new witness. This was just a reiteration of language he had already used in his prior rulings, which is why the ex parte motion is actually just asking the judge to reconsider what he had already said about no more witnesses, no more evidence. Now, is it possible that both parties, the plaintiff's team, Scientology's team, shows up to court tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., and the judge says, yeah, I know this was still on the schedule, but that ruling that I said, we're adjourned, we're not doing this hearing. Is that possible? Yes, that's possible. But as of right now, I've been able to verify that both teams are scheduled to show up in court tomorrow. That hearing is still on this schedule. The judge's published ruling did not invalidate or throw out that hearing. That hearing has not been continued or canceled. It is on the schedule. So I'll be able to let you guys know what happens at that hearing tomorrow. And this star witness entering in at this stage in the case should make Scientology very, very afraid. And I'm really hoping, I mean, guys, I've made the mistake of getting very, very optimistic in the ways that judges rule in these civil lawsuits against Scientology. It has been mind-boggling and soul-crushing to see judges seem to telegraph that they're going to rule in the plaintiff's favor on various motions and appeals and all this kind of stuff, only for them to come back and just completely rule in Scientology's favor because their hands are tied because of case law and all this kind of stuff. Or, what is it? Is it case law? No. What is it? Whatever. You guys know what I mean. I am optimistic about what's going to happen at tomorrow's hearing. But I don't know how much that optimism is worth. I'm just saying it for the record. Okay, so let's see. What else? Is there anything else we need to cover in this video? I really don't think so. That's it. Oh, what lawsuit is it again? Someone's asking. This is the Jane Doe lawsuit. This is the Jane Doe lawsuit. This is, I would call this a child sex abuse lawsuit is what this actually is. That is what this lawsuit is. And the fact that Scientology is trying to take a child sex abuse lawsuit and divert it into internal religious arbitration. And the idea that a judge might rule that a civil lawsuit of this particular subject matter could possibly ever be diverted into internal, quote unquote, religious arbitration is very concerning. Now, there is a law that recently passed in California that says that matters such as this cannot be diverted into internal religious arbitration. What Scientology is arguing is that that law only applies to abuse that occurred after the law passed. And plaintiffs' attorneys are arguing that that is an incorrect interpretation of the new law, that that new law applies to all lawsuits filed after the law was passed, is my understanding. And so how the judge rules tomorrow is extremely important, obviously. And it's one of these things where no matter how he rules, it seems like it would most likely be appealed. But, you know, we got to take little victories anywhere that we can. So fingers crossed, you guys. Hopefully the judge allows this new witness testimony to be admitted. Hopefully that new witness testimony helps the judge make the right decision as far as pushing this case into internal religious arbitration. And stay tuned, you guys. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Got a couple comments starred here. By Felicia, 6 UK, new member. Praise Xenu. Well, welcome, Felicia, as a new member. And Kristen Estix says, I made you a remixed Aaron intro in your email. Well, thank you, Kristen. I will check it out. I really appreciate that. All right, guys, that might be all for me today. We'll see. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hit that notification bell. Sometimes it does something, I hear. Thanks to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe